teams here at the Cape are responsible for both the design and the construction of the pad right now. Part of the team will transition then into the actual operational side of flying the vehicle. I like to say that launching rockets is like the greatest team sport ever. It requires a lot of collaboration. There's so many different skill sets that are needed. So the team of technicians that you see welding right now on site, bending tube for the fluid systems on site, those will also be the team members that you'll see rolling the vehicle out and being a part of the launch operations team to actually get Terran R off the pad and into space. We have engineers, technicians, and folks that come from various backgrounds, some having previous spaceflight industries, some that don't. And that's really created a really awesome forum to bring different ideas, both based in some of that experience and heritage, and then some fresh ideas from different areas of industry.
Our role, I like to describe it as anything you want to know or control around the launch site. So that's anything from instrumentation, pressure, sensors, loads, and then for controls, it's valves, motors, motor controllers, hydraulics. Even though DEX is behind the scenes, it's honestly one of the really exciting parts because you get to go interface with all these other groups and kind of bring everybody together to the table.
My team's role at the Cape actually starts well before the launch campaign begins. We start with doing a lot of collaborations with a lot of other teams across manufacturing and the test sites. Once the vehicle arrives here to us, we accept stage 1, stage 2, and the payload, and we integrate them together, roll them out to the launch pad, and get them ready for liftoff.
Our main role here at the Cape for myself and my team is electricity, from designing it to installing it to maintaining it. Whether it be high voltage, low voltage, communications, data, pretty much everything that isn't IT but has electricity to it is the responsibility of one of my departments or somebody on one of my teams.
We're responsible for designing all of the cryogenic, gas, hydraulic, and water systems here at the pad. Fluids, the fuel, if you will, that it needs to launch, and then also water to keep everything cool, and then hydraulics to physically release it at the end of the day. Our team is at a really interesting position within the organization where we're at the tip of the spear. We get to both design, fabricate, activate, as well as operate the system, both pre-op and then physically during the launch operation itself.
There's a lot of teams that have different responsibilities on the vehicle during different phases, all the way from manufacturing in Long Beach to the Cape team. And one of the critical things that we look at is the upstream and downstream teams and making sure that decisions that are made upstream, the downstream teams understand that effect and they agree to it, such that the product that we're receiving at the end of the day is what we expect.
What Relativity's been able to do is assemble almost a generational talent of people that with very small teams were able to build great big programs and move incredibly fast.
One of the things that I love the most is that everyone's always ready to help. We have some of the industry's best talent, from welders to pipe fitters to data acquisition. We know that we can tackle any problem from big to small with the small but mighty team that we have on hand.
One of the big questions that I have in this industry is, how do I get involved if I'm not in the industry? And a lot of folks think, man, that's rocket science, it must be really hard. But at the end of the day, there's so many different skill sets that are required to fly a rocket. We see a lot of folks from oil and gas, high pressure fluids environment. So when we look at things like offshore recovery, we look at maritime, we look at oil and gas, we look at folks that are used to that kind of environment and setting, and then teach them the rocket side.
There is a huge fear, I think, of people not thinking they're good enough to get out here. But it's just like any industry. You start with your basics, you break it down, and then you start building up.
Now is the perfect time to join Relativity because we're building out the launch site, we're building out the test site, we're building out Long Beach, entering the final phases of the program where you can come in and have a big impact.
What I'm the most excited about working on in the future is actually receiving each stage, fully integrating them and getting them out onto the launch pad to see them fully standing up and ready for launch.
I'd say the first launch of Terran R is merely the beginning. One of the big goals is to unlock science, which then leads to so many discoveries we can't even fathom today.
There's a lot of other aspirations that we have with the vehicle and the future of flying. It's really exciting to be a part of that early on, especially at this phase in the program.